Candace Owens. Oh, God. Candace Owens. Candace fucking Owens. We're doing it again. We're doing it again, baby boy. Okay. Every time I upload one of these fucking segments, there's always somebody in my fucking comments saying, why are you begging on Candace Owens? Oh my God. Oh no. My God. Why are you beating up on my girl Candace? She just wants the best for the black community. You should know. Come on, man. Why don't you work with her and use your positive voice to uplift people instead of talking shit about others? How are we supposed to have unity when you're being divisive? You fucking done? Are you done? Is it over for you now? Can I fucking talk? Oh, she's back in the news today because for some dumbass reason, she has the ability to go trending whenever she wants to point out a stupid opinion of hers. Candace Owens claims she's going after Chrissy Teigen. Not Teigen, her name is Teigen. Because she cares deeply about suicide, when she openly mocked Meghan Markle for having suicidal ideations and Kurt Cobain for taking his own life. Isolating an individual away from their family and friends using suicide threats to get what you want. These are classic signs of an emotionally abusive relationship, but we're supposed to suspend rationality because racism. Dear Harry, Meghan is not the victim. You are. Wow. Newsflash, woke idiots. When you send me pictures of Freddie Mercury and Kurt Cobain dressed as women to prove your point, you're actually proving mine. Stable men do not wear ball gowns. The end. Look at this drug addict and the man who committed suicide. They wore dresses too. Just impossibly stupid. Holy shit. Okay. Before we look at this video, that's clearly the point of the fucking reason why this was tweeted. Isolating an individual away from their family and friends and using suicide threats to get what you want. These are classic signs of an emotionally abusive relationship. True. But we are supposed to suspend rationality because racism. Okay. People gonna find this. Look, the shit. Everything's breaking because nothing can withstand the stupidity of how deep I have to make this point. Look. Pay attention here. You might be inclined to say at one point or another, you just agreed with Candace Owens, so what's the issue? She says it in her own tweet. If you add context to it, the situation becomes different. Why are we making situations different based on context? I hate that. Hate when people be like, you take her out of context. Bitch, even she says with context situations change. Okay, stable men do not wear ball gowns. The end. Freddie Mercury, music lives on forever. Kurt Cobain, music lives on forever. So it's not about the stability of men wearing ball gowns because they've achieved more than she ever will. So, even in that sense, you're not, the point that they're making is for you to pay attention and you're not paying attention. Anyway, when Anthony Bourdain took his own life, Candace Owens made a video where she blamed it on PC culture and the culture of victimhood and bragged about how because she was outspoken, she wasn't prone to suicidal ideation.
Why the culture of victimhood is so attractive, why it's so attractive to say that you're a victim because you're a woman or because you're black or because you're Spanish. People are dying to be victims, and the correct answer about the culture of victimhood and why it's so attractive is because it makes life easier. Life is already hard. Life is suffering. That's exactly right. Life is incredibly difficult, and we're constantly trying to figure out who we are in the scope of what society is telling us that we have to be. And the easiest thing is if someone hands you a pass and says, no matter what you don't accomplish, it's not your fault. It's because you got, the wrong end of the stick in life. It's because you're black. It's because you're a woman. And that's why people are so attracted to the culture of victimhood, because it gives them a pass in life. They don't have to work hard. They don't have to accept their own faults and things that they could have done differently. And I think that there is a correlation between the culture of victimhood and why people commit suicide. And it's just that life is hard. Life is suffering, and we have to acknowledge that life is hard without handing out passes. We have to acknowledge that you know, even the people at the top are struggling and they're going through certain things. And until we're able to have that authentic conversation, until we stop trying to tell people that they have to be perfect, that they're not allowed to make errors, that they're not allowed to say sorry and be forgiven, then we're forcing them into these boxes where suicide might be an option for them. And I saw somebody tweeted, you know, maybe somebody should check in on Roseanne Barr, right? All of these people that refuse to allow people to be human, to make errors and to potentially correct them, are creating the environment where people can exist inside of these mental prisons. And one way to break out of these mental prisons is to commit suicide. The other way is just to be bold and to talk about things. And I've taken that route in life.
Small side note here. Small side note here. Hold on. Take a notice to this article. Parler's new CEO is Candace Owens' husband. Notice how she's been really repping the Parler app as of late. Just so you are aware of the situation in which she highly reps an app to which most of its users call her a monkey and the N-word. You don't have to take my word of advice for it. You can go on the Parler app, but I don't want you to, because I don't want you to get sucked into that pipeline. You might see something, oh shit, I didn't think about it that way. You start scrolling, and before you know it, you want to kill all the Jews. Like, just saying. She thinks highly of an app to which they literally degrade her every day. Insanity. And she says what they want to hear. So just keep that in fucking mind. I'm going to spend the last bit of this segment unpacking how bad this is, step and phrase by phrase, so people can stop saying, you're strawmanning, you're taking her out of context, it's one fucking something. She's my, I love her, she's my own. She's fucking morons, yo. Oh my God. Oh, jeez. Okay, here we go. Let's jump in, because that shit hurt my feelings to listen to.
Also this morning with the idea of why the culture of victimhood is so attractive, why it's so attractive to say that you're a victim, because
it is not attractive to say that you are a victim. And I'm going to have to keep bringing this up every time I hear it. When you get the cheat code in The Sims for maximum money, you don't slave away at a job. There is no limit to what house you can buy. There is no limit to how you feel like you can afford children. You're not worried about their education because you're literally sending them to top schools. And in the worst case scenario, with all the money you have, you could put them in programs for art. You could do this with, if you play Sims 4, you know what I'm talking about. Like, once you get all that moolah, like, it literally, the game opens up and you can design houses and you can have special rooms for your kids. And whenever your kids need something, you just buy it. You get what I mean? The culture of victimhood does not exist to be something that people choose willingly to explain away all their bad behavior. That's what you say. If you really felt that way and looked at the people who you are considering that say they choose victimhood, they generally are in a position where if they weren't, the system would still hold them down. So at least they can identify, I tried to work for this company that was all white and they said, oh, they'll get back to me. And in like 6 months, they told me, oh, we don't have a position for you. At least I can tell that it wasn't my fucking merits because I do the job better than half of y'all.
You're a woman, or because you're black, or because you're Spanish, people are dying to be victims. And the correct answer about the culture of victimhood and why it's so attractive is it because it makes life easier?
No, it doesn't. Pay attention to the idea of the thing she said. Yeah, she's doing in the fucking video in the car. I get it. I understand. It's not something to like truly pay attention to. It's not something to see in a realm or fashion where you're like, okay, she's saying this with purpose and intent. She specifically picked those groups or whatever. It's a fucking car video. Even though we have the context that this was made after Anthony Bourdain's death, like, I really want you to pay attention to how, when, why. She said, because, and I repeat,
why it's so attractive is it because it makes life easier?
It does not. Because then that would have to that would have to, sorry, I want to make this land hard. That would have to take into account, or that would have to be a part of a discussion or a part of a rationale in which the groups you specifically mentioned didn't go through a suffrage period. Black people, I don't have to be specific. Like, come on. Crack open a book. Women, crack open a book. Gay people, crack open a book. The right to work, the right to safe living conditions, the right to abortions, the right to healthcare, the right to better products, the right to, I think I said healthcare already, but the right to doctors that don't ignore your conditions. Black women still suffering at a higher rate for the same things as white women, because doctors will literally look at a white woman and say, we'll take you a little serious, even though I think you're exaggerating it. You're probably going through menopause. They look at a black woman and be like, you're literally fucking lying. Like, here, take this Ambien and shut the fuck up. Like, really, like, trying to, like, talk to you about existing in a victimhood state would make your life worse, because not only do you have a reason for why these things are happening, but now you can't escape those reasons. You find them in everything, and therefore you really feel like shit. I'm not gonna be shit unless I sell out. If I do that, like, you see where just making these points don't add up, but you people take her fucking words and somehow you imbue it with this genius, like, she's speaking facts, talk, sis, I love it, yeah, like, you got me over here literally on live on the internet going, like, if you can get me to do that, you're saying something fucking stupid. Like, we're not even 20 seconds into the video and already it doesn't make sense. And she posted that to make a point, a statement. She wasn't doing that to say, this is my vlog, you know, sometimes dumb shit will come out of my mouth. I'm over here cooking with my iPhone. Like, no, she straight up was like, hello, can I help you in this regard by saying this?
Life is already hard. Life is suffering. That's exactly.
She's in a car with somebody. Who the fuck is in the car with her?
Hard. Life is suffering. That's exactly right. Life is incredibly difficult, and we're constantly trying to figure out who we are in the scope of what society is telling us that we have to be. And the easiest thing is if someone hands you a pass and says, no matter what you don't accomplish, it's not your fault.
That, again, doesn't work. By your own logic, life is suffering. Somebody giving you a pass to say everything that went wrong in your life is not your fault would leave you with only your own devices, which would stop you from trying, which would make you feel like more of a I feel like people who say things like this don't have friends. And they don't have friends in a creative space, let alone. You don't have friends. You don't have people who are going through it. You can't have people who are going through it, because this type of shit you wouldn't say. You wouldn't have the moniker in your soul to be able to put all of these pieces together and not see a fallacy in your own logic. But again, people look at me and they try to pick on me. Oh, you're a new streamer. You only got a couple subscribers. You know, you're not getting that many views. I'm going to say what I'm going to say because, you know, that's it. You shut the fuck up. Literally shut the fuck up. Because if that were true, that would mean that there is an entire piece of society that not only understands the system in which they work under, but can do nothing to overturn it. And again, you can't have everyone become a millionaire. The money from consumerism has to come from fucking consumers. So if you're in a city or an area that's poor, you have to take poor people's money to get ahead. Or you have to find a way to get the rich people to notice you enough to buy into what you're doing. Which you can do with NFTs, but I'm not supporting NFTs, nor am I advising you to go try out to make an NFT. But I'm saying if you really want to break into the industry of art, maybe it's, you know, something you should consider. Anyway.
It's because you got, you know, the wrong end of the stick in life. It's because you're black. It's because you're a woman. And that's why people are so attracted to the culture of victimhood, because
now that you've heard me say out loud, now that you've heard me say with all intents and purposes what actually is happening, she repeated it again. Now it doesn't make sense, right? I hope that if you're watching this, it doesn't fucking make sense. Because if you listen to it and you broke it down without trying to be reactionary, without trying to be emotional, without just literally saying, oh, I don't like Candace Owens and everything she says is garbage, just listen to it. It doesn't make sense. It's a bunch of words put together to invoke an emotion because it's so out of bounds and so wrong. If you work in the real world, you know for a fact that type of shit can't even fly because we're constantly being, and it's so funny that she said that like 10 seconds earlier, we're constantly being judged by how society wants us to act. She's saying to fucking assimilate into one and be better. So
it gives them a pass in life. They don't have to work hard. They don't have to accept their own faults and things that they could have done differently.
What situations are you talking about? Because if it's the art world, if it's the music world, and I don't want to say the hip hop genre or the pop genre, because, you know, we got a lot. I think minorities are literally dominating the music industry as far as like the biggest sales or whatnot are going. You got your Taylor Swifts, you got your, you know, but like, come on. Like, it's the baby. Come on. Come on. But having the pass that she's talking about would literally sap your drive so far away. They don't have to work hard. Do you think we like being poor? Do you think me and my homies love walking out every day, gripping up? Do you think this is where we want to be? That's how I know you don't have friends. That's how I know that she's talking out of her ass. Because if you applied it in real thought, there is only one type of person that is listening to this and agreeing with it. Sorry, two types of people. White people and people who sympathize with white people. Who's your audience? Who did you make this video for?
And I think that there is a correlation between the culture of victimhood and why people commit suicide. And it
weak. That's weak. That's fucking weak. That's so weak. Because I've had people who have committed suicide due to the misinformation of the COVID pandemic, which led to more COVID cases, and they couldn't stand to see that much death. So were they acting like a victim? Were they acting like a victim? There's a link between the culture of victimhood and the idea of suicide. How? And remember, this is about Anthony Bourdain. So how? Well, Marquise, if you watch the video, she'll explain. Watch me break that down too.
It's just that life is hard. Life is suffering, and we have to acknowledge that life is hard without handing out passes. We have to acknowledge that, you know, even the people at the top are struggling and they're going through certain things. And
so victimhood affects people at the top, but they made something of themselves and they changed their surroundings. So everything you said for the past minute has jack shit to do with that, because you literally just said people who have been successful are dealing with the same thing that people who use the victimhood card to be lazy and don't work hard. So if people who work hard are in the slate of victimhood and the people who don't are in the slate of victimhood, then everybody's just a victim of something.
Until we're able to have that authentic conversation, until we stop trying to tell people that they have to be perfect, that they're not allowed to make errors, that they're not allowed to say sorry and be forgiven.
This is about, and I know it's said it already about PC culture, but this is about PC culture. That has nothing to do with suicide. Oh, you're saying by telling people that they have to think a certain way, and when they can't fit those standards, they end up killing themselves. Okay, here's where I'm going to I'm going to be funny, but I'm not going to be funny. Maybe don't be a piece of shit human being and respect other people, and you wouldn't see what I mean? It's like you're really linking suicide to the left canceling people for the right saying trans people shouldn't exist. Like, there's a step somewhere in there that you fucking missing.
That we're forcing them into these boxes where suicide might be an option for them. Because,
you see, we're forcing him into being a decent human being, and because of that, they want to commit suicide. That's what she just said. But she didn't say it out. You see how she like cleverly lays these points together? Oh, you have to look through it. And y'all who defend her don't look through it and take it at surface level. So you don't understand where people are coming from when they make these diatribes towards you. Why they say, why the fuck are you listening to her? Because we listen and actually pay attention to what she's saying.
And I saw somebody tweeted, maybe somebody should check in on Roseanne Barr, right? All of these people that refuse to allow people to be human, to make errors, and to protect.
Oh my God, yo, an error like you bringing me the wrong hydrate, or you calling me the wrong name, or you tripping me, or even for the sake of like Earth itself, you bully me and then like you realize it's really bad and you're like, I really fucked up. Let me make it up to you. Let's do this, and we repair our friendship or whatever. Those are mistakes and errors we can come back from. If you're like, I want to be a Nazi, I really don't think we could come back from that, homie.
Potentially correct them, are creating the environment where people can exist inside of these mental prisons. And one way to break out of these mental prisons is to commit suicide.
Or to look at your fucking like ideologies and see why they don't match up with the moral majority. Again, I'm not saying the moral majority is always right, but like protect gay people, free Palestine, protect trans people. Don't think of black people as inferior. Don't think of minorities as inferior. Mexico's not bringing drugs and rapists. Other countries matter. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. If you have to commit suicide because these thoughts are too heavy for you, I'm not advocating that you should, or that you, if this is, obviously. But I don't know, take an introspective look. Ask somebody, talk to somebody. If all of that is leading you to say, I can't live in this world, I gotta die.
The other way is just to be bold and to talk about things. And I've taken that route in life. Bullying.
So yeah, she's not applicable for suicide because she's outspoken. Tucker always nails it. If you believe Meghan Markle is a victim, you're an idiot. There's really no other way to say it. Bad press over bridesmaid dresses does not make you want to kill yourself and your unborn child unless you are unstable, lying for sympathy, or both. Like how she states she doesn't remember racial issues growing up. Yeah. Oh, she replied. As the person who actually wrote the article about Courtney Stodden, did you know that you can archive even more things I said if you subscribe to the Daily Word and use my code Chrissy for a discount? Think about it. That's hard body. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That she really replied it. She really replied. As the person who actually wrote the article about Courtney Stodden. About a binary, what? Like, fuck you.